Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Now, I did not watch What Happens Live tonight because I didn't want Phaedra. I didn't want her to change my mind because I'm sitting here just thinking and my wheel is spinning on it possibly could be Phaedra. And I didn't want her to sway me differently in her responses on Watch What Happens Live tonight. But I'm going to watch it after this recap, besties. Uh-huh. Phaedra, are you Junebug? And it's only concerning because you were fired for this same stuff, the same drama, the same lying, plotting, lying. You go after folks. You did it to Nina, you did it to Kenya, you've done it to Candy, right? And it's like, yeah, for the guy to sit in your face and say it was you, that you met him at the mall and gave him the envelope with the information. Phaedra, we have seen you in the mall exchanging money with a client. You will pull up to a mall and conduct business. Ding, that is a Phaedra trait. Phaedra, you are messy. That is a trait. They call you the godfather of Atlanta. And for someone to pin it on you, you was not mad enough for me. Now, I'm not saying you had to get up and get to fighting, but he was right in your face. And you took it too light for me. And for you to be an attorney, I would expect more verbiage coming from you. And even when you think about it, this didn't start until you showed back up. Phaedra said, I just got here. I ain't even been here that long. This just started after you got here. Uh, uh, the bull crap has started now that you got here. What have you in production and Andy drawn up? Because you had to come back and do something. You couldn't come back like you showed up at Married to Medicine. You gave nothing over there. You had to come back here and do something. You had to make it make sense, Faye. Or should we call you Junebug? Uh-huh. And another point, besties, I need to know the backstory of Charles and Phaedra. And I'm not saying that they dated, maybe she was a side piece. She speaks nothing but good of Charles. Charles has not acknowledged Phaedra. I did not see him hollering and talking to her at Kelly's event. The event tonight, I have not seen him acknowledge her presence. She said she ain't seen him in 10 years. Well, they did hug, but it was just like that was random. He would have did that with me. She said something he hasn't. So I need a backstory on Phaedra or how Phaedra feels about Charles. What happened? What was going on back then? And then maybe this will make some more sense. Aha. There's a piece to this puzzle missing, besties. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now, honey, let's kiki and ha and get into another episode of The Real Housewives. It's the season finale, Sweet 16, episode 17. Game over. Besties, please tell me how you would rate this week's show. What are you giving it? It was pretty cool. It was okay. Yeah. It was a good 8. I give it an 8. You drop down in the comments and you let me know what you thought about tonight's episode. And you know the drill. Please like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and share my channel with your friends and family and coworkers. Why not? Make sure your notification bell is on. Ding dong, so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, baby, let's get into it because we got some things to talk about. So Lauren and Portia go over to Phaedra's house. Portia's family wants Phaedra to assist with her cousin Londi's homegoing services. Londi meant a lot to the family, all of them. Her and Lauren grew up like sisters. They're the same age, I believe. And Lauren was actually on the phone with Londi as she transitioned. Now, Phaedra says she was at work. Now, what she talk? What work? What is Phaedra talking about? She said, honey, she was at work when she got the call that, Londi was having some problems. And before you knew it, Londi had passed away like an hour later. So Portia and Lauren are taking care of Londi's affairs because Londi's mom and sister, they are just not strong enough right now to do it. Because Londi seemed like she had a very untimely death. Sorry. Oh, okay. She had an untimely, you know, transition, and we don't know what happened. But I still want to know, if besties, if you ever hear anything, could you please just let me know? So I learned something new. So you heard of the dove release, like at funerals, at the not the repast, but at the burial, at the cemetery. So Phaedra had an idea that since Londi loved butterflies, to have a butterfly release. So Portia asked, "Oh, do they go back to their owners? Like the doves do." And so Portia was like, "No, they don't have no trained butterflies. There are no trained butterflies, honey. So unfortunately, they won't. If you release the butterflies, they're just gone." Okay. So, honey, Angela visits her therapist. Now, her and Charles goes to the same lady. I don't know if they go together. Angela was by herself for this session. They've been going to, to this lady since they got married. Ooh, well, they've been going since 2017. I believe, what did they get married in, 16 or 17? But she's going to visit the lady by herself. She's stressed about her investment properties. And this is the lady who has really helped and taught her how to trust Charles, because she didn't trust him in the beginning. So now she feels bad about all these houses that she invested in because Charles told her not to buy them. So then she discussed, what happened with the Marcus guy at Kelly's event. And so she told him what Marcus said. Uh, According to, him, Charles is cheating and been at his restaurant twice with the same woman. And according to Marcus, he said Charles did hear him say that he was cheating on Angela. Remember the toast that he gave? He says Charles did hear him. He chose to act like he didn't. I said, okay. And so Charles told Angela, it's a lie, and someone put him there to do that. And so he even asked Angela, "Well, do you trust me?" And so she said, "Yes, I trust you." And so she says, "I just don't want him to be attacked." And this is Angela's MO about Charles. She feels that she's the wife and she is going to protect her husband against all these cheating accusations. But baby, Angela, are you tired yet? Because baby, I'm tired for you. And in this episode, I got to wondering, besties. I just got to wondering, why are we here? Do you plan on filing soon? It makes you wonder. Is this some Melody Martell type of situation? Did you come on this show to depart from your marriage? Okay, we gotta see. So Angela wants to know who is trying to destroy her marriage. She said, "I want to say Charles." The one who's cheating. So she said she's in fighting mode and she will protect her marriage. And so the therapist was like, "So what is your message?" And so she said her message is leave her the F alone. Okay. Okay. Now, Shamia has invited all the ladies to her music showcase, honey. Well, do it, do the thing now, Shamia, do it. Drew said she's only coming to give constructive criticism and to make sure her mic is on because Drew has deemed herself the resident singer of this group. And she just wants to make sure. And it's like, you know what, Drew and Shamia, y'all are not in any competition. If you had any sense in the matter, y'all should get together and do a duet. Honey, there ain't nothing like two strong women singing about some love or whatever. Why don't you get together and collaborate, do a collaboration, collaborate together. So I said, is Drew late? Nope, she was not late to this event, honey. So Britt comes in, child. She speaks to everyone but Kelly. Kelly does not care. Kelly says Britt is non-existent to her. She was like, is she here? Is she here? So, honey, RL, from Next, him and B Flat are there because they're supporters of Shamia's project. Shamia hits the stage, child. She was singing and then she missed her note. And Drew clocked all of that tea, honey. I was like, oh no. So in Shamia's confessional, she said that she has not performed in 20 years. She's nervous, just a little bit. She got to warm up. So RL told her on one of her breaks, he was like, man, take him to church. Go on, girl, take him to church. So he got to encourage her, get it out of her, bring her up to par, right? So, child, once she got all warmed up, honey, Miss Shamia was on that stage doing all the things, honey. She was in full production, honey. She was playing the piano. She changed her outfits about 6, 7 times, and I liked all of her outfits. And then her little daughter Shayla came on and said, I like to sing with my mama in the shower. And she was with Miss Pat, the comedian. If she has a show and a judge show, I love Miss Pat Settles It, honey. You talk about some funny, man. If you ever like just stressed out, busy day, I think it comes on probably BET on like Tuesday or Wednesday. Child, you talking about some funny because her jury are comedians Ray J, D. Ray Davis, Carlos Miller, Tamar, T.S. Madison, her friend Carmen, and this white guy. I think his name is Chris. All funny. They're all funny. Okay, so Drew was giving her approval, and everybody else is clapping and just supporting Shamia and doing all the things, right? So Angela said that Shamia's show was amazing. Kelly said it was amazing. Britt said she has a nice voice, but her performance needed work. So she gets an E for effort. Drew said she needed more rehearsals. Her mic was on, but not on. And then she gonna say on the slide, it probably needed to be off. I said, Drew, no. I wanted y'all to get together. Stop it. Now, after the show, Angela's asking the ladies did they receive her invitation to her gala. They're like, yeah, we coming, we coming. And I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go with another foundation donation charitable event. Oh my goodness. And I said, I know Kelly about to say something to throw shade at Britt, and she does. So Angela says they have a goal to feed 100,000 children. And this is the Charles Oakley Foundation. It has been established since they've been married. And Kelly says she will post this a listing on her IG. And so Drew asked, well, how many followers do you have? And Kelly said, oh, 150,000. And no, she said like 150. And then Drew was like, 150,000? And child, hold on, I'm about to look up to see how many Drew has because she was so like 150,000. Drew Sadora. Well, she has 775,000. Okay, so Britt gonna say fake followers. She grew 80,000 followers in one day. I said, no, Britt, no. Kelly was like, oh, I didn't know you were stalking my page. Britt says, well, we were really close. And so Kelly said, is this a competition? Okay, so how many? Well, I heard Britt took, oh, here she is, Britt Edie. She has 189,000. Yeah. Kelly, what is Kelly's Instagram? Who is Kelly? Oh, she's up to 218,000 now, honey. Okay. So Kelly says she'll put it on her IG. So Kelly asks, is this a competition? And so Angela like, hey, listen, just tell your followers to donate. We ain't trying to get into all that. Kelly says, well, you gotta say how much you want, because everybody don't get it. Because some people just don't know. Child. Then there's a back and forth and back again. And then Shamia comes out. Child, thank you, please, because it was just. So she thanked everyone for coming, and she wished everybody a good night, Russell Simmons style. Thank you everybody for coming. Good night. So Shamia then talks to Britt. She's like, let me talk to you. She said, okay. She was like, yeah, so you're saying that Cynthia told her that Britt told Portia, since her and Portia had their conversation, that Shamia was still talking crap about Portia. Britt says, yeah, you said she was not a good friend and some other things you were saying. Shamia said, girl, you are lying. You are lying. And right in this instance, y'all, now I'm sitting here going, maybe Britt did start that lie. Maybe that's why she started the lie. Maybe it wasn't Phaedra. Maybe it is Britt. And maybe that's really why she jumped ship. Because remember, they said towards the end of the season, they give you the last 4 episodes 2 days before taping the reunion. So this is making sense now. So maybe, because remember we said we was going to watch and see for the last 4 episodes what really happened to make Britt want to quit the show. Uh-huh. And she be an undercover little snake. Maybe it is Britt. Who is Junebug? Because she already said that Phaedra is an attorney. She's too smart to do stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Child, now I'm wondering. Because she could sit there and lie to you in your face. Huh. So she said, girl, you are lying. Why do you feel the need to lie? Britt tells us that when her, Kelly, and Shamia went out, that Shamia showed Britt text messages about why she don't like Portia. Now I'm sitting here like, what do you mean? Like, you're telling us that Shamia showed you her text messages where she was talking about Portia. To who? Who was the text messages to? See, yeah, some of this stuff ain't making sense. So she's like, yeah, she's a hater. Shamia's like, this is coming from some jealousy. Yeah, you mad. Who? She said, why? Portia? She said, no, because I'm talking to your friend. Oh, no. She said, because I'm taking your friend Kelly from you. I was like, child, what grade are we in? I'm taking your friend Kelly from you? Child. Then they go back and forth and back again. Then I hear Britt admit she did get naked. She said, I did get naked. I did. And Shamia said, well, thank you for wearing clothes tonight. Then, of course, you come for Britt. She got to go to HELL. So she brings up her daughter. She's like, when we left Grenada, you didn't run back to your daughter. We stopped in Miami And I thought you was really going through it about your daughter. We was there for you, but you wasn't even tripping. When we stopped in Miami, you and Kelly were popping shots. Child, Shamia had the ultimate clap back. She said that you was popping pills. Here go Britt. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Shamia said, I only called what I saw, honey. And you the lady of the night? Britt said something about, well, you be cheating, I guess, on her husband. Shamia said those rumors have been going around since Britt's cat was a kitten. I said, wait, what? Honey, she said, them rumors been going around so long. And it's like, okay, well, Britt, where did you get that information from? Are you researching everyone in the group? Huh? Did you find that out when you were searching about Angela and Charles and his cheating? Now, yeah, I'm looking at Britt a little different now. Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm looking at Britt. Because something in the milk ain't clean. Production is behind this too. Mm-hmm. But who are they putting? I don't know. It could be Phaedra or it could be Britt. So then there's a montage, right? Kelly is at home doing a single mom thing, waking up her beautiful daughters, the twins. You know, she's on mama duty. She's waking the kids up, the dog. They in the kitchen cooking. Her sister comes over to help with breakfast. It's a lot going on. Um, she's still not divorced. She's trying to open her second location for her restaurant. And we all know that's not a good idea because you're still married and you don't want to get into all that with somebody you're trying to divorce. And remember the episode when she was trying to open in 2 months, that place was a hot mess. We all was like, well, Kelly, you ain't gonna make that due date, honey. It's 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 obvious. That place needs about 5-6 months of work. Okay. And it's not a good idea to open up a business while you're still married when you're going through a divorce, because then you got to go through all those court proceedings about that asset. Like just wait, girl. So she says she's not a wino, but she's a wine mom, because that's the only way. This is the only thing that's keeping her sane is the liquid grapes. Okay. Child. So Britt and her husband, why are they so fake? They go check out a private jet. Girl, ain't nobody. Show us the money, girl. Show us the money. We didn't see you pull up in that new Rolls Royce that you bought. He bought you allegedly. How'd you get there? She just be lying. Anyway, she tells him that they can jet to a beach and da 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 because she got to show off her hot body before he gets her pregnant. That's something you say to your husband, and he over there just like. So over at Drew's house, child, Ralph is calling her from the basement, and he asks her if he could come upstairs and talk. Their kids have left. They're at her mom's house in Chicago because she really wants to. She's going through it with this divorce. Needs some time. So he comes upstairs. He's playing the piano. She's like, "Oh, you missed the piano, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what happened after they had this talk. Did they go upstairs to the bedroom?" So anyway, he was like, "Drew, how did we get here? Like, how did we get in this position?" So he's kind of going through it because he can't see his kids during the week. He can't see them Monday through Friday. He can't take them to school. He can't have breakfast with them, dinner, help with homework, nothing. This judge, whoever is doing their separation, is terrible. These are horrible arrangements. Horrible. So Ralph wants another relationship established. Good job, Ralph. He said he tired. He tired of being in that basement, I'm thinking. So sounds like he may be ready to co-parent, and because the judge has his hands tied. So Drew said, you can ask. I would never take you away from your kids. They need you. You need them. Our kids are blessings to us. We just got to figure this thing called life out. Now, Ralph now wants to be cool moving forward. So I think he's ready for the co parenting that Drew has always wanted. Child, Phaedra is still with Check. She called him Che Che. They go wine tasting. They're doing really good. She's in love. It's been 4 months, and they just are kissing and rubbing and blah, 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 blah. So she head over heels, and we love that for Phaedra. Okay. Over at Britt's house, it's been a couple of weeks. Remember, her mother was gonna sell the house and move in with her, so she did. So they're at the house having a family dinner. Britt's gonna have her family over, her two crazy sisters, and Mike, her in-laws are coming over. His family always comes over, but it's her family that needs to get it together. So they have all vowed to do better. Okay, so they're at the house having a good time, and Britt and Mike announced that they're gonna plan a ceremony. And then after they plan their wedding, because remember they got married in the pandemic, so they didn't have a ceremony. And then after that, they plan to have a baby. Yay! Huh. Now, honey, it's time for the get down at the Charles Oakley Foundation Gala. Everyone but Drew is arriving. Angela's somewhere getting dressed on the phone with Drew. Where you at? Drew, like, I'm about to leave the house right now, get in the car. It's like, really, Drew? This girl can't be on time for nothing. So Angela tells us that her and Drew met with Marcus and Alex. They show some playbacks. Angela asked, when was Charles supposed to be at this restaurant? So Marcus asked Alex. Alex going, I think June. Angela called them both liars, told they are bad liars because Charles was coaching in Ice Cube's Big Three games that summer. Angela says there's some more to this story because this ain't adding up. So then Angela asked him, who put you up to this? So he types the name on the phone because they don't want to put it on blast at this time for the show. So Drew looks at the phone to see the name. And I'm just like, huh. So Angela wants to get to the bottom of this because she wants to know, what did she do to provoke that from her? Like, what did she do for them to want to do that to her? So everyone's meeting and greeting. They meeting Phaedra's Mr. Chocolate. Auntie Cynthia's like, that's the Mr. Chocolate that everybody was saying that Phaedra was dating back on season 9. And they're like, no, this is Mr. Chocolate, honey. He is fine, honey, and tall. He ain't too much shorter than Charles, child. So Portia and Shamia, they hug when they see each other because, Portia is going through what she's going through with, losing her cousin. And Portia tells the lady she'll send out the funeral information real soon. And then she tells us that she on whatever Shamia on at this point. Pretty much it's whatever. Okay. So then Portia, Cynthia, and Britt are talking about how Shamia is mad at Britt from the conversation that they had. So Portia was like, well, how does she know? Then Cynthia admits it came from her. She said, well, some things were said and I didn't want to be blindsided. And it's like, Cynthia. So Charles and Angela take the stage. They announced their honorees. They honored Meals on Wheels Atlanta. Meals on Wheels, they feed the elders twice a day. If they're sick, shut in, or just like been in the hospital, you can kind of rehab, they'll come and send and bring food. Then they honored the PURCE Foundation, and they pretty much take care of the DV victims. And so they also told us that they feed people on Skid Row. They feed over 3,000 people at the Super Bowl. And Charles, like, we just trying to feed people in schools. They're trying to reach wherever children are. That's where they're trying to reach to feed them. And then Angela honors Portia in honor of Londy's work and charitable contributions for their grandfather's foundation, Hosea Williams. And we all know Hosea Williams was a civil rights activist in the early, probably like the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. His foundation is Hosea Feed the Hungry, and that was excuse me, and that was established in 1971. And we know this man has protested against racism. He has led over 20,000 people in marches and fighting for rights for blacks, all while in Georgia. So good kudos to Hosea Williams, and rest in peace to him and Londi. Whew. Portia, take the torch, girl. So afterwards, the ladies had to take Portia out. She went up on stage and, she thanked them and everything. And so she kind of broke down. So the ladies take her out so she can kind of cry and grieve. And Britt is wiping her tears. Shamia is right there in the middle in front of her best friend, letting her know. And she tells us that she hates that this group has changed their relationship because she says Portia is her person. The love is there. And now, are they moving forward? It's in God's hands from now. From here on out, it's in God's hands. And that's the best hands to be in, honey. So Drew texts Angela and lets her know that her friend is there. How did he get here? Was he invited? I guess Angela invited him, huh? We talking about Marcus. So Angela sits down with the ladies and thanks them for coming and lets them know that they raised $107,000. So that was great, Angela and Charles. Good, good, good. And so she's letting the ladies know, she was ambushed at Kelly's event. And she wants to know who sent Marcus. And so Kelly thought that Angela was pinning it on her. Because she was like, oh, I know she don't think I did that. Why would I ruin my event? I worked hard for that event. Calm down, Kelly. Calm down. Britt, maybe. So Britt was like, child, I am married. I would not sabotage another woman's marriage. And me and you, so Angela's like, well, because we're not really in a good place. She said, no, we're moving in a good place. And Kelly is over there giggling. She is just and then she bumps Shamia's arm, like, listen to this. Listen to this. You hear this mess? Child, it's her. They think it's Britt. Drew goes, she gets up and she go get Marcus so he can come back and fess up. But baby, when she brought him back, honey, Charles sitting over there paying attention, honey. He over there sweating bullets. So he got to step in and save himself. And he gets up in Marcus's face and he tell him, oh, no, bro. You have to go. Get the F out of here. Child, he's like, you want me to go? Then Angela jumps up and she go back and forth and back again with her husband. They going at it. They are arguing in front of everybody. And everybody is like, oh my goodness, what's happening right now? Because Angela's like, no, let him finish. Marcus, now. Then I'm like, Marcus, now? What are you commanding him to do? Because he's walking off. He don't want no smoke from Charles. So Charles is like, no, man, he's going to disrespect you. No, he's not. Angela is screaming at Charles, trust me. Charles going to say, I'm not trusting you. Bump that therapy talk. I ain't trusting you in this moment because I'm trying to protect you and you won't let me protect you because you're trying to air me out and I'm trying to protect us. I thought you wanted to protect this marriage. That's me talking, but that's pretty much, I'm paraphrasing. So Angela, Marcus come back because, he was paid to. He was like, extra, I need extra for me turning back around and come back. So Angela asking Marcus, who told you to do that? And so Marcus is apologizing to Charles, and he was playing him a little too close because Charles was still hot. And, Mark's like, I apologize. I told you. So Charles is like, nah, dog. You disrespected me as a man. And child, all the ladies in their confessionals like, child, Shamia said that boy better get out of Charles' face or he lay him out. And so all the women are like, yeah, when Charles is playing the NBA, His nickname was the Enforcer for a reason. He is the enforcer because Charles will get up in your face because he likes to fight. Okay? Marcus told Charles that he was wrong. He said, I was wrong. And Charles told him, hey, you know, you lucky, you lucky, you lucky. Child, Charles said, I'm out of here. I'm too old for this. I'm out. He left. Now, the short guy, the stubby guy that was walking with him, and I saw him walking with Angela too. Is he a bodyguard? He can't be a bodyguard because don't you have to be a certain height to be someone's bodyguard? But I will tell y'all, besties, honey, that event was securityed up. You hear me? You saw nothing but security in the background. Okay, you barely saw who was there. Couldn't even tell the who's of Atlanta, honey. It was nothing but security. So Charles said he out. He gotta go. So Marcus come back to the ladies and they like, so what you gotta say? Finish? What was you saying? So he said there is someone in this circle that is unhappy with Angela. And they like, who? Who? And it's to me, why Drew wasn't saying nothing since she read the phone. Why was she just sitting there acting clueless, being quiet, waiting, watching the show? So he says, Phaedra, she's the godfather of Atlanta. Phaedra tells us he said, oh, he just picked me because I'm an easy target. But she's like, I have no reason to do this. Her marriage was destroyed. Phaedra's telling us her own marriage was destroyed on national TV. She would never. And I'm like, girl, shut up. Shut up. So Marcus tells Phaedra that she dropped the envelope with the information off to him at the mall, honey, the Monday before the event. She's like, what? No, to me, Phaedra wasn't mad enough for somebody to be lying on you all up in your face. He said, they was like, well, how did you know her? Oh, me and Phaedra have a connect. Well, what's his name? Junebug. And the crowd goes wild. Now, remember on my video from yesterday, he said Ray Ray. It went from Ray Ray to Junebug. Yeah, somebody lying. So Phaedra then fell out laughing. Now, how is you laughing if somebody's sitting here lying on you? And child, they brought up this may be a scheme that Todd set up. And I finally got to see the playback for that because I hear a lot of content creators say that. This is a scheme that Todd set up. And I'm like, Todd? And I'm like, okay, Real Housewives of Atlanta. But now I see Candy's auntie said that. Was talking to them. I finally got to put the connection together. So Marcus gets up and he leaves. And he says they don't want to hear the truth. So he left. So Angela is confronting Phaedra. Is this it? Is it the ring? Is it the ring? And so she was like, what ring? What ring do I want? She said, a marriage that you want, a marriage that you don't have. What? What? You tried to come in between mine. Phaedra's like, girl, I like your husband and I don't even know you. You don't know me. And I was trying to like you. And Angela's like, well, I was trying to like you too. And then, and then she tells us that Phaedra called her and gave her all of Marcus's information. So, okay. No, it's not, Britt. It is Phaedra. She was like, it's you because you did it to Marcus. You called me with all the tea, told me his name, where he worked, and that's how she gave all that information to her private investigators because they both from Athens. Marcus and Phaedra is from Athens. Remember, Nene told us how small Athens is because she said she didn't even know Phaedra. But what was the tea about Athens? Remember, they said Athens is a very small place. They only have 2 high schools and 3 middle schools, and everyone knows everyone. Remember, that's what Phaedra told Nene. Everybody knows everybody. And y'all think it ain't Phaedra. Phaedra ain't changed because in order for Phaedra to come back on this show, she was going to have to give something. You know what I'm saying? It has to be Phaedra. It has to be. And so, child, Phaedra said Angela has lost her mind. And Angela says she believes all these roads lead to Phaedra. And they do. All the roads lead to Phaedra. Then Phaedra exposes Angela, or at least she thinks she's trying to expose Angela. Oh, well, let's talk about those foreclosures you have. Honey, we already know about the foreclosures. Angela went on Carlos King and sprayed her own business. We know. Angela said, that ain't no thesis. I'll tell everyone what I'm going through, and will, and has, and did. Then Angela tells Phaedra she's doing the same old crap like she did to the old friend group, honey. And she is referring to Nene, Kenya, and Candy. Because I stopped pretending that Phaedra don't lie on people. That's why she got fired after season 9. Angela asked, does Phaedra let Apollo see their kids? And I was like, now, wait a minute, y'all. Aren't kids supposed to be off limits? Can we just stop going for the jugular? And so she was like, yes, they see their daddy all the time. Like, what are you doing? Well, that's all right. You a terrible person. You're a horrible person. Ugh. So now Shamia and Kelly think Britt is behind all of this. No, you can't think that after she just told you that Phaedra called her. Well, that was a confessional, huh? When she admitted that. So I guess they didn't hear that part. Okay. Well, did Britt say that? Britt did say that Phaedra is an attorney and she's smarter than this, but you're not. But hey, Phaedra was an attorney back in season 3, 4, 5, season 6, season 7, season 8, and 9 also. And she was a liar. She lied about her pregnancy. She didn't know when she was due. She didn't know when she got pregnant. She over there, Candy was like, so when did you? Oh, no, because let me try to see. So anyway, moving on. So, at the end of the show, they give you the breakdown on everybody's little update. So we got the update for Kelly. She got divorced September 2024, and her Sandy Springs restaurant will be opening sometime this year. So then the narrative switches to Shamia and Britt. Child, now they having a back and forth and back again, honey. Britt gets up, she leaves. She said, I'm done fooling with these losers. Who is the loser? You are arguing with the millionaire whose Decatur roots was coming out on you, and that's why you left. You didn't threaten her about with no whips and no pow pows. So Britt's ending line is that she's opening a new insurance agency and working on her brand Bare and Naked. Then they flip over to Drew. Drew's album was released this year, and Ralph is still in the basement, and they are nowhere near divorcing because we did hear that might be fake. Little fake storyline about them getting divorced. That's probably why he never moved and she didn't either. I mean, he couldn't move, but she could have. And so Shamia's update is she got a new surrogate, so hopefully she'll be getting a son soon. Her single was released in March of this year, and she hopes the people who listen to it will listen to it. Portia. And Phaedra's is she's booked and busy until her boys will retire her, and she is still with Chi Chi. Chi Chi, Shay Shay, whatever she called them. Okay, and Angela's wrap up was she sold 3 homes, lost 2. And she loves her new fan base, and she had no plans of renewing her vows with Charles. And that was like, oh, a red flag, red flag. Are they going to file next season? I hope not. Then Portia and Cynthia are having a back and forth and back again. because they need to talk about this Shamia talking about her behind her back mess. So Portia tells Cynthia that she was not supposed to run back and tell that, but Auntie was just auntieing. Auntie was trying to mend the bridges. She said, I just wanted you and Shamia to get back tight. Portia said, I understand, but you shouldn't have done that. And so then Cynthia apologized. And we didn't get anything about Cynthia. And I know she's a friend of, but dang, we could at least something. So then we go to 5 months later. It looks like it's Christmas time. There's decorations. We are at Portia P's mansion. We are at her house. It's a rainy day in Atlanta. Clearly, it's around Christmas time because I think I saw 2 or 3 Christmas trees, decorations outside. So it's a beautiful home. She kind of letting master bedroom is massive. It's huge. And her mom comes over, and so she sits down and tell her mom that after 10 months of not talking to Simon, they now have a court date. They're going to go to court the next month. And she hopes the judge enforces the prenup. And if the judge does, then everything will be split. He going to get what he get. She going to get what she get. And she was like, this will just bring her a lot of closure. But fast forward to February of this year, Simon was detained by ICE and their divorce was put on ice also. But as we know it, they are now divorced. And that was the end of the episode. This season is over. Season 16 did okay. Let's just do better for next season. Portia got paid way too much, but we all understand why. If you don't understand, check out my video from like 2 or 3 days ago. I talk about Portia and her interview with People magazine. And so, besties, now we have 3 weeks of reunion, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Oh my goodness, it was okay. This season was okay. It was, what I hope Kenya can come back next season. She needs to because she's selling her clothes at the hair spa, child. All right, besties. Make sure you drop down the comments. Let me know what you thought about tonight's episode and the season Sweet 16 as a whole. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure your notification bell is on. Ding dong, so that you know each and every time I post my content. And I'll be back with another recap. Bye, bestie.